What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and I'm here with my good buddy Skullface.
Salute, internet soldiers.
And he's gonna help out here and give his opinion on the Toyworld, Swamper. Same company, I believe. But yeah, so we're gonna take a look at this mess here. He comes with these two guns, of course, and as always, you can peg them onto the side of your robotic animal if you really want. I hate that thing, so we're not gonna do that. For a quick comparison, here's the G1 Skull Cruncher here, just so we can compare them. You can see overall about the same length, but the Toyworld one is just way beefier on this size there. Of course, you do have the Headmaster. He is probably the worst abomination of this toy. He sits in there, who drives any kind of vehicle like he's pumping iron there. I don't really know, but this guy does. And he doesn't, if you don't get him right in that little, you can't see it, there is a hole there. If you don't get him right in there, you can't close this top, so it's a pretty big mess. Articulation, pretty basic. The head goes up and down, even though I don't think it's supposed to because it pegs in here. And the jaw opens. And there is a gun somehow inside there that we're not going to get out. But you can see the double barrel gun. And coming down to the legs, you of course got the 180. You've got the knees. Do alligators have knees? I don't know what this is called. And you have the ball jointed ankle. Same thing for the back too. And nothing on the tail, unless you consider the transformation part of articulation. So let's get this guy transformed, and let me say that out of the box this was one of the most complicated toys I had, not because he's actually hard, but because everything was super stiff. So you have to start by pulling the tail apart like that, and then you want to come down to the bottom here, and everything untabs and flips open like so. Then we flip this all the way around. Really tight ratchets. In the process, you can see I folded in the leg panels here, and as we come down here, you're going to flip this, pull the little foot out, and spin it around, and then take the foot of the alligator or crocodile and kind of plug it in here, and then this all folds up here like so somehow. If it'll do it, it will. And we'll do it again for the other side. So again, flip this all the way around, flip the little toe out, the foot of the crocodile, and then fold the panel down. And it's all kind of like a little dance that you do with the legs. And since we're at Skullface's here, he does skits, right? Dance for me, monkey.
I don't do these things on command, okay? Take
Well,
some thought.
If you want me to fix your toys ever again. Alright, so after that little dance, I had to take a second to, you know, get the image out of my mind there. Let's actually get this thing transformed the rest of the way. The top is pretty hard because you have to take these and you slide them sideways. And it sounds like they break when they move every single time. Like that. And make sure your crocodile head is untabbed, but it always happens, so good chance you've got it done. So once you got that, you can leave these on. I prefer to take these off, and I'll show you why afterwards. You're going to flip him around so he's facing forward, because I already did that part, and then fold his shoulders down. And now you have a couple options here with his arms. You open this little panel here and push his fist out like this and close it up. And again on the other side here, you flip the panel. There we go. And fold it on up. Like so. Now you can leave it like this if you want, and you don't get a huge range of motion out of the arm, but you still have that. Or you do have the option, you can put it this way, where you get an incredibly large range of motion. I prefer it that way, just because, you know, more articulation is better than less, in my opinion. And there is one step here that is easily missed. You pull these down, but they don't click into place, they just kind of slide back and forth. So there's a good chance you already did that. And then when we get to the head, let's actually rotate this so you can see it better. This little piece here can sometimes be a problem. What you need to do is make sure it folds into the crocodile head like this, and then everything will fold up flat like that. And there you've got the basic body. You can reattach these on the back if you want, But like I said, I'm going to show you something to do with these later. The Headmaster is your typical Headmaster, and he is, well, he's not a typical Headmaster because he's just awful here. So if we take these, and of course you just fold the hands flat, and you rip his legs off because that's the only way you can actually get this guy transformed. You're supposed to take his legs and clip them together here, and we'll see if this works. Nope. See, it just pops right off every single time. It's amazing that this toy is so tight, and then for the legs on the Headmaster, the ball joints are just so off. But there we go. We got him into his little Headmaster mode, and I have it backwards here on the top, but you plug it in, and
oh, nice unit.
Of course, it has a special action feature called leg popping off at your enemy mode. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so this is our Skull Cruncher. Alright, so here we have our Swamper in his robot mode, and let's bring in the G1, and you can see, really doesn't look anything in the front like him. Fortunately, Toyworld thought of that, and we can activate his action feature here, and we'll...
Again, here, use this. Put
Okay,
this on top.
okay. There we go. So once we actually get the proper head back and intact, we go ahead and put that back on. And we spin his arms around this way, because we can. And you go, but his fists are backwards, don't worry. Toyworld let us take these off. And after this review, they will never be going on the proper direction. And then we can spin his feet around. And there we go. Now we've actually got a Skull Cruncher actually in the proper form there. And now you can take these legs here, and this is why I said just pop them off. And take them and rip off his legs in the process again, and just plug them right onto the sides of the crocodile head here. And that gets them nice and out of the way, and mostly doesn't hinder articulation, which we'll go over after. So let's actually give him his weapons. We can go ahead and give him the guns here, and you can put one in each hand, or you can actually take his tail off here, which is like an abnormally large peg that is really difficult to get in the first time, that I thought it was doing something wrong, but no, just a huge peg. And you can actually extend this thing on out, or you can flip it apart and make a little sword, which is probably the coolest little feature of this guy, just all the, I guess, play value of his weapons. And yeah, so we can give him a sword, why not? Going over the articulation, again, articulation is the same pretty much, whichever way you decide to display him. Action feature time. There we go. We can rotate his head on around. Super stiff, to the point that this Headmaster is trying to destroy itself in the process. No up and down on any Headmaster. Rotation at the arms, the shoulders here. You also have that separate arm joint here. Upper bicep, the elbow, or the elbow, whichever one you prefer. The actual rotation and a swivel on the wrist there. So that's nice. The waist swivels all the way. The hips. The hips are a problem. So they have that Armada Unicron problem that they're ratcheted, so you only have so many clicks here. You can actually fix this by taking off these two screws and removing the ratchet tooth from there, and there's enough friction in this that it won't be a problem. Of course, you have the thigh swivel. Coming to the back here, I forgot to put these panels down. Doing so allows me to get his incredibly stiff knee, which sounds like it's breaking every time you move it, to actually go ahead and articulate. And then we can come down to the ankles, and of course you got this whole mechanism to move it around. One thing I wanted to show before we get out of here, the tail that does kind of come off as a sword. Also, what's left of it also, if you can get something. Skullface, the knife.
Here you are, sir.
Thank you very much. Special brand Skullface knife here, and we can take this and we can actually flip out this like bladed saw weapon here. So yeah, there's that. One thing I forgot to mention when I filmed this guy at Skullface's house is you can see actually the rear alligator hands actually do have a little flip out hand here, so you can make him pull his best Goro. But frankly, the way this joint system works and stuff, this is about the coolest thing I can figure out how to make them do. Your mileage may vary, but the joints are just so limited on the rotations you get out of them that there's really not much you can do with these bottom hands. I suppose you could bring them up over the top, but ultimately the end result's going to look something like this. And I do really believe that this guy is intended to have this, like when he was designed, I think this was the back, because look at the space between the front of the head and the alligator. Whereas if we turn this guy all the way around here, I mean, that's way more, you know, better proportions. So I feel like it had to have been designed to be this way from the start. And since we're at Skullface's house, I figured what better person than to give the final thoughts than Skullface. So I'll see you guys next week.
What's up, nerds? It's your favorite stand-in's favorite nerd, and today we are going to look at some final thoughts with Skull Cruncher. And the first thing that strikes me about him is just the total lack of paint. It's just a big green plastic block, big green plastic block, big purple blocks. It's a very imposing and menacing size. The articulation seems on point, and there's some strong ratchets and stuff, but I just don't think that aesthetically it does the trick. I like it much better in the G1 look than I do with the alligator head look, but overall it's not for me. I do like, I know T2 painted the mouth in there, and that does give it a little bit more depth, but the face itself to me looks a little bit like, I try to stay PC, but you know, he may ride a different kind of school bus than you did, if you know what I'm saying. But outside of that, it's a solidly made thing. It's just like between the proportions and it just kind of looks like they're going through the motions. It looks like there was some love in the sculpt, like in the design of the sculpt, but outside of that, I don't know, it's $100, $100 plus, and Fans Project is coming right behind them. I don't think I'm going to be picking this one up. I'm saying that quietly so he doesn't hear. Anyway, make sure to check out T2RX6 next Friday with his next video. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.